Can we tell that?
Yeah, you can. No, it's a beaut, man. It's one of those ones. Some you forget, but some are just like, if you could put it in, if you could produce it a little better, and you could have got the right lighting and cameras, it would be a beaut.
You're mentioning this building.
Yeah, and it wasn't 10, 11, but it was like in that whole area. There's about 3 or 4 buildings, and it was an apartment building, in that junction. It was and that whole area was bad, but. Again, 10, 11 was the worst of the worst. It's been in the paper many times in Toronto. They're like, this is the worst building on the planet for trouble, drugs, and all those things. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we get up to the one apartment, and we got it as, if I want to believe it was like a fight or something. It didn't even sound anything. It was like some kind of fight or something was going on, or just yelling and screaming in the hall or something. So we get up there, and was like the 6th floor or something. We get out at the 6th floor, and there's a guy laying down halfway up the hall, and the halls are big. There's, I want to say 60 feet, let's say. And there's a guy about midway up the hall, and as we get out of the elevator, you can see he's bleeding. Not sure how, from 30 feet away, you're not sure how, but we get up there, and he is bleeding so bad. He takes his hands down from his neck, and he's cut his neck. It's cut through. He's got 2 big slashes or 3 big slashes on his, again, some stuff on his face, 1 great big gash on his neck, or 2 big gashes on his neck. His neck was opened up, like, to the point he's not breathing. He is, like he's gasping for air, and he's got this big cut on his shoulder. So we're sort of dealing with the guy. And the end of the hall, we're down on our hands and knees dealing with the guy, basically trying to push his head back and try to get some kind of oxygen flow, and scrambling for equipment in the bag. We got our O2 bag and stuff, and we're scrambling for that and getting some big pads on him and start trying to, sort of contain this bleeding and stuff. And the door at the end of the hallway swings open, and out comes this guy in a sort of Mid-Eastern guy, and he's got this, it was like a waist, I don't know, what do you call it, a skirt, for God's sake, wrapped around, a towel wrapped around him or something. He's running out of a building, and he's yelling and screaming with over 24 inches, nearly 30 inches. I'm calling it a sword. It was no bread knife. Like, it's a sword. He comes running, swinging that thing, man. Swinging it above his head. Leave him, or whatever. He's shouting, yelling, and screaming at us. And he comes running at us, and we're on the, it's one of those things when you get focused in on something, but you still have to stay aware, spatially aware of where you are, because we don't know how this happened, but we know he didn't do it. We know, there was no tools around for the guy to do it to himself. We don't know where he came from. The doors are all closed, so we don't know what apartment he came out of. And when they're saying there's a yelling and screaming match, you're kind of thinking somebody else. Like, my first thought was somebody did this to the guy. He didn't do it to himself.
Sure.
So you're kind of keeping your peepers, you're keeping your awareness level high. Anyway, as soon as the door busts open, this guy comes running out, big sword, waving it above his head. It was so big that he's running down the hall, and it's scraping the walls and the ceiling as he's swinging it around.
Fuck.
So it's 30 inches, man. It's a bloody sword. Not a, it's no knife. It's not a knife fight.
Scene out of Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, it's not a knife fight, man. It's a sword. And he come on us quick. Like, he come on us super fast, and we're busy, super busy with this guy, because he's dying. Like, he's not just, it's not something where I can leave one guy. We needed all the hands we could on this guy to sort of deal with this, right? Mm-hmm. And we used to have these about 24 inches long. It's made of cast aluminum. It's got a square hex on it, a square opening on the end for hydrants to take the caps off of hydrants.
Sure, yeah.
I know the tool.
You've seen the tool.
Big one with a lot of leverage.
It's a beauty, right? It's cast aluminum, so it's not super heavy, but it is pretty heavy for aluminum. You know what I mean? It's a good piece. We used to wear it in a leather holster on our belts. That was kind of your tool, right? You always had that on. The guy comes running down the hallway, and I don't know what possessed me, like, because there was plenty of shit we could have done. I could have got up and I could have got off my knees and did something, but he comes running at us, and like I look up and I just see the blade going high, and when it goes high, you know what's happening. Like, it's
going to come down.
Well, it's coming down,
yeah,
man. The hammer's coming, right?
Yeah.
And I reached into the thing and got it out, and I sort of stood up and swung my hose key at him, and it caught him right on the chin. Like, it couldn't have been better. And it split his chin as it went past him, but it knocked him over, like knocked him back. It was a good one. Like, it was a great swing. And I'm standing up, so it was full on.
So,
he got a good launch.
He
got a super good launch. And it's got 24 inches, so it had a nice little pendulum action. Yeah. And it caught him just sweet. It was like when you hit a home run, it just hit like it hit that pop, and it was, man, it busted him. It busted him down. He went down on his back, and I was up, but not completely up. I just dived over and grabbed, get rid of the friggin' sword, and he lay there. He didn't budge till we were finished.
I hope that sword's up on your wall now.
Well, it's like
souvenir.
It's like, Jesus, man, how do you keep all your souvenirs?
Or at least that wrench.
The wrench is, it was significant, man, because it probably saved 2 guys from getting a sword in the neck, man.